Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Box Talk episode 4. Today's episode, the theme is going to be about mental toughness. All right, one of our coaches, Mr. Coach Connor, is actually currently in the middle of knee surgery. He had a complete ACL tear, and so he is going through it right now. We're here to support him, but he's got his own journey ahead of him on how is he going to be mentally tough as he battles back and goes through his rehab process to get him back to his awesome, stellar self. So today, in replace of Coach Connor, we got my man, Coach Chet.
Hey, what's good?
As always, you got the fierce Coach Ben. And the extremely good-looking mustache of a man, Coach Spence over here.
That's what my mom says.
Is it really?
The theme of today is mental toughness, but before we get into it, because this is going to be a really intense, awesome topic that hopefully we can help you athletes out and provide value to you. But before we get started, we're going to have a little fun question. So the question, we're just going to go around the boxes, have everybody answer this first one. And this is the question. It's time to work out. Here's the scene, all right? Time to work out. Oh no, you're out of pre. There's no pre-workout. There's no caffeinated beverages around. All right, what are you using instead of pre-workout? What is your perfect and your favorite pre-workout fuel or snack before a workout? Wait, go ahead.
Oh, going to me?
It is Spence.
Shoot, I'm gonna panic, honestly. I'm probably gonna panic and maybe use the panic attack to fuel my workout because I need caffeine and pre-workout to help motivate me. But honestly, I don't really have anything. I'm too addicted. I'm too addicted to pre-workout, so I need to figure out something. But I guess something like maybe something a little sugary and sweet and just the sadness in my heart.
All right, kids, some of these questions are what to do, some are what not to do, okay? That is a what not to do question. No, I have the luxury of writing the questions, so I'm a little bit more prepared for these. But for me, it's gonna be Sour Patch Kids. Okay. Straight up, because you got the sugar, you got the carbs, you know, it's just gonna hit you quick. Plus, I love Sour Patch Kids, so any excuse I have to eat them, I'll take it. So that's my go-to. Eat a handful of those bad boys before a workout, feel nice and jittery. Like it.
I always eat before I work out. I have lately been eating a lot of fruit before I work out. I've been eating either apples or honey melon or watermelon. I've been eating a lot of it. It's a quick spike of energy, but I already have tons of energy from all my pre-workout. But to keep me going, I usually try to get something starchy to keep me going through my workout, but right before my workout, I definitely hit fruit.
I didn't know they had fruit flavored like Rice Krispie treats. You've been eating lately.
Yeah, Rice Krispie treats.
I really can't have coffee.
No caffeine. No caffeine. No caffeine. What are you doing?
Probably sugar route, obviously. I'm gonna stick with Starburst.
Okay.
Okay, Starburst or some Skittles for candy. Then I have to have a Rice Krispie. It has to be a Rice Krispie. But fun fact, Starburst, it has to be the pink kind, all pink. No mystery flick, just
sell
all pink.
only pink?
Yes.
Do they really?
Where have you been?
Starburst.
Yeah, not I.
I'm struggling to figure out what pre-workout to have if I can't have real pre-workout.
Well, don't panic. Eat Starburst.
Eat a pink Starburst.
You know what? I'll get Starburst because I don't like the pink, so I'll give you all the pinks.
Oh, perfect.
And we'll eat
Well,
the other
fair.
ones. There it is.
Fair enough.
All right, enough of that. Back to business, all right? So first question, I'm actually going to direct this at my man, Coach Chet, right over here. And real plain and simple, Chet, what does mental toughness mean to you?
To me, mental toughness means to have the ability to change your mindset when things get tough and hard, and to be able to challenge yourself in a way to prepare yourself to make you better than those that are around you. Because we all have the same opportunity to, get better, same amount of days and same amount of hours in a day. But when things get tough, when it's 110 outside and you're running sprints and it's 10 guys outside with you, like, what are you gonna do different when everybody gets tired? Like, I like to put myself in certain situations mentally, say, hey, I'll outwork this guy next to me any day. I'll mentally tell myself, hey, I'm a dog, I'm a lion, I'm a beast, like I'm gonna outwork everybody here. and just put yourself in situations to just, be better than the next person. You know? Like I said, everybody has that opportunity, but just being able to change your mindset in any possible way, that is positive, not negative, because I wouldn't tell myself, oh, you suck, and then like intuitively work harder. No, it doesn't work.
Right,
that way.
positive self-talk.
Positive self-talk is the best.
Yeah.
So just being able to do that, but then also a good way to do that is setting up certain scenarios. Like, okay, I know I'm gonna get tired on set 12 or whatever we're doing, right? I'm going to add an extra couple reps afterwards. If I'm, say we're doing sprints, 110s, I'll add a couple more just to, say that I did it, or to make myself better, or to put myself in a situation that just know that I'm gonna prepare myself later on.
Yeah.
So
I was just watching I was telling Ben, I was just watching the most recent Rocky movie, which, to be fair, they probably shouldn't have made it. But I'm a big Rocky fan, and I think a really big quote that's kind of gone viral off of that movie is he talks about how, the one thing that you're guaranteed is that life's gonna hit. And he's like, what creates a champion is not how hard you hit, it's how hard you can get hit and keep going. And I think that's like the best description of mental toughness is like, stuff's gonna go wrong, stuff's gonna hit the fan at some point. We don't know when or how it's gonna hit, but life is gonna come and hit you hard. And so do you have the mental toughness to be able to push through that? Because being a champion is the person that can push through those difficult times, that adversity, kind of like you were talking about. Piggybacking off question number 1, I'm going to actually give this one to Spence and Ben. So we'll start with Coach Ben. But the question is, what helps you do what you're supposed to do, even when you don't feel like it? AKA, how do you stay disciplined?
All right, well, first of all, everything I do, I say, is this normal? Because I don't want to be normal. So, WWND, what would normies do? Don't want to be normal. If I'm suffering through pain, I'm like, oh, okay, this is where a normal person would stop, so I continue going. I also am really into like history. I used to be a history teacher. I know how horrible life was for humanity throughout pretty much our entire civilization. And like 200 years ago, I would have to wake up at like 4 a.m., get my eggs from my chicken roost or whatever it's called, milk my cow from my milk, and then that's how I would start my miserable day in the dark. So we are not like living a bad life at all, no matter how bad. Like, oh, I have to wake up at 8 to go to work. Well, yeah, cool. You have a refrigerator. We have indoor plumbing. Like, life was terrible for humans until like 150 years ago, probably even the last 100 years. So I just think, all right, stop being. It's programmed in our minds to always be uncomfortable. That's how humans advance, and because we have all this stuff, we're blinded by how blessed we are and how spoiled and coddled we are. So like, I just think about, while you're living literally in the peak of human civilization, stop complaining. You're not normal. Be alpha. Continue doing what you do. Crush life.
I think that's awesome because really mental toughness is a big part of that is perspective, which is like what you're talking about, right? Like your perspective now is what you think is hard now would have been the life for somebody years and years and years ago.
Yeah, like so, I'm living better than any emperor did in the last 2,000 years.
Right.
I mean?
So appreciate what you have good perspective, and don't be normal.
Yes.
Spence, what about you?
Wow, my answer isn't nearly as in-depth as that. Mine are mainly just my goals. Just figure out what my goals are, and it's pretty much a question of like, hey, do you want to reach your goals or not? Like, you got to do the things that make you uncomfortable, and you got to do the things that you need to do to reach your goals. And if you don't do them, you're not going to reach your goals. So choose what you want to do. Do you want to reach your goals or not? So those days where I'm feeling like I don't want to do it, I have to look at myself and look inner and say, oh, I have this goal. I have X goal. I need to do X, Y, Z to get to that point. And if I don't do it, I'm not going to get to that point. So what do I want to do? Do I want to reach that goal or not? So that's kind of where I get to. And I think for me personally, I need to get a little bit more Ben perspective, so it kind of motivates me more to reach my goals, because there's definitely those days where I'm like, oh, I have this goal, and I'm like, I just really don't want to do legs today. Like, I want to have this goal, but I don't want to do it. So I fight myself constantly on like whether or not I want to do stuff, but you got to stay disciplined if you want to reach your goals. So.
Yeah, and that's why goals are so important, right? And have dreams, because when it comes to discipline, it always comes back to what's your why.
Yeah.
right? Like, why are you going to work out when you don't want to? Because what is your why? You know, why are you going to show up and do the extra work after practice when everybody's left? Because you want to get that starting role, you want that scholarship. Like, what is the why that drives you to do things that you don't want to do? You know what I'm saying? And I think today's generation gets confused with motivation, right? Motivation and discipline of like, oh, I'm hyped, like I'm gonna stay after practice today because I know I want to get better. And then the third practice in a row, the third day, they're leaving at the same time as everybody else. What happened, bro? Oh man, I'm tired today. I don't have, oh, your motivation's gone. Well, guess what? Your motivation will leave in every aspect of your life. Every single aspect, in the gym, in sports, with your work, with your family. Like at some point you're gonna be like, I just don't want to do this. But what separates us as humans from being normal, AKA also being champions and being elite, which is pretty much what Ben is saying, like, how do I stand out amongst the crowd? And it's how can you stay disciplined and do what you know you should do even when you don't want to do it, right?
I kind of like the whole goal thing because like it's important to have that goal and like you said, have that why. And I also like to add like I said earlier, like the positive talk. Like favorite time player of all time was Ray Lewis. He lived by a motto of, it's called the 5 Ps. Proper preparation prevents poor performance.
I like that.
And it's
say that
just
again
like
one time for him.
proper preparation prevents poor performance. And it's just basically just, you know, doing the little things step by step, making sure that you do them every single time, and preparing yourself to reach that specific goal or to drive that why. So
Heck yeah, I love that. And that's a good time to kind of piggyback because our next question I was going to ask you guys is like, who is a professional athlete or somebody that's well known in the world that has really shown mental toughness? Like Ray Lewis is one of the most motivating individuals. But he's also motivating because of those quotes that he talks about. He like harps on discipline and, you know, pushing through when you don't want to. Going back to kind of Coach Connor and his knee surgery, the first person I thought of was like Adrian Peterson, right? Like one of the debatably greatest running back of all time, but went through so many knee injuries and ACL tears and just got beat down. And every single time he got hurt, people were like, he's probably done.
Yeah.
Like he had so many people going against him. Every time he was so mentally tough that he was like, no, I'm not going to be normal. I'm going to be elite. I'm going to come back. And he always bounced back and had crazy, like even better seasons after a surgery, which is pretty unheard of. So, you know, Spence, do you have a pro athlete or someone that you could think of off the top of the head that really like showcases mental toughness?
Yeah, I mean, one of my favorite basketball players of all time is Derrick Rose. So Derrick Rose, the mental toughness it takes to have all of the injuries. I mean, he was primed to be one of the best players to ever play the game, honestly, in my opinion. I think if he just kept growing the way he was, I mean, he was rookie season, he was MVP, right?
Yeah, so explosive.
So explosive, so good, so talented at such a young age, and you know, blew out those knees. And for him to continue to come back, most people wouldn't be able to do that. And then I went through my own knee surgery, and he was someone that I looked at. I was like, man, like he did it. Like I get it. He's at this like crazy top level athlete, but like if he can do it, like I can do it too. Like I can push through, even if I'm not the best, even if I don't come back better, I can still come back and do what I love to do. And like for him, he's just gone so many up and downs. I mean, he was at the peak, and then he dropped down, and you know, he's kind of been a journeyman, but like he still goes out and performs. He's still that guy.
He goes crazy every now and then.
A couple of years ago, he scored 50 points in a game, which is unheard of for NBA players, especially someone that, you know, really had fallen off because of injuries. But he came back and he scored 50, and I felt that like the emotion, like he was tearing up and crying. Like I watched that highlight video and I watched him do that, and I was crying. I was like, dude, he came back from so much to come back and score 50 points, and like there's a handful of people that have done that in the game. So he's someone I for sure look to and I go, wow, that guy's mentally tough, physically tough, like tough all around.
And I think as athletes, injuries are the one thing that, you know, like very rarely is there someone that has never been injured at any point in their career. Like everyone gets nicks, knacks, some bigger than others injury wise, but like everyone gets hurt. And I think that that's always one of the first times that like as an athlete we get tested mentally. Like, can you bounce back? Guess what? Your whole routine is thrown off. You can't work out the same way. You can't live the same way. You can't practice and play the same way. Like, you have to completely recreate yourself. And I think that that's so difficult, and I think there's a lot of athletes out there that are watching that are either going through an injury or have gone through an injury that could really, utilize that motivation and to just be inspired to realize that like you're not alone. A lot of us have gone through it, and just stay mentally tough, push through it, and you're gonna make it. What about you, Coach Ben? Anyone stands out to you?
I'm gonna go with the most victimized person in history, Tom Brady. You blamed him for deflating footballs. You suspended him 4 games, Goodell. What do? He came back. He won a Super Bowl.
How many
Colts,
times?
you're trash. Poor guy.
Eli Manning, we hate you.
He was sitting in his yacht, not being able to play those games, watching his 80-foot TV on his yacht. It's not right. It's not right. And he had to sit out those 4 games. He came back with a vengeance, and that mental toughness. Oof.
Kind of like Ray Lewis. Honestly, Tom Brady's one of those guys, though. Like, every time he does well, people are like, no, it's not you. It's Bill Belichick. Yeah. It's Coach Belichick. And then he goes away from Belichick and like, oh, no, it's all the weapons around you. And then he has no weapons around him. And Tom Brady is one of the most average individuals that has had such elite success. Like, nothing about him physically is elite.
Except for his chin. His chin is
that chin's even new though. When he first came in the league, that chin was not elite.
I think he just had a little baby fat.
But you know what I mean? Like, he's not crazy tall, not crazy fast, not crazy buff, not crazy strong. Like,
yeah.
And the dude put up crazy numbers in his, I think for sure, hands down, one of the best quarterbacks of all time.
To just like what he can control, which is his effort. How hard he works, how hard he puts the work in to achieve the goals that he wants to achieve.
Yeah, he's mentally just he's so high up on like the mental strength scale. It's like that's unfathomable.
Yeah. And I think a big part, kind of going back to what you talked about with perspective, is like Tom Brady's mental self-talk. Mm-hmm. Like, that dude's talking himself up. Like, when things get hard and he's in the 4th quarter and guess what? He's down by 3 scores. He's like, I can do this. We're going to bring this back. I got this. Like, I know things are tough, but he's mentally talking to himself and like hyping himself up, right? All the greatest, Muhammad Ali, like the people that we see in the community as cocky, what they're really doing is they're battling and they're being mentally tough through all the noise. Like, you might say, I'm not great. I got this. We're going to come back. Everyone thinks this game's over. It's 21-0. I'm Tom Brady. I can do this. I can bring any team back. Like, you know what I mean?
It's good.
Yeah, when you're going through sprints and you're on your 10th one and everyone's throwing up and you're dead tired, like, I got this. I can do it. You got this. 3 more. You can push through. Like, that positive self-talk and that affirming yourself that you can do it and that you're not normal and that you're elite. Because, like, Tom Brady is the most normal dude, but he literally was like, I'm not normal. Like, that was his motto. Like, he lived that life. And Ben is from Boston, in case anyone's wondering. He's not from California. He's from Boston, clearly, and he's a diehard.
But if I wasn't, I would still.
So you're a diehard Patriots fan?
Debatable.
Is what you're saying? You love the Patriots?
I do. I love the Patriots, but Tom Brady was 20 years of dominance. I was growing up. It was just like, it was unreal to watch him. Never be anything like that again. And like, I was like religiously watching like when he got hurt, when he got suspended, like all that stuff, and he just like, it just rolled right off his shoulders. He always came back and 9-10 Super Bowls. It was just absolutely, it was a joy to grow up in Massachusetts during that era. And I left as soon as he went to Tampa. See ya.
I'm going to California. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just got slightly handsomer every time people doubted him. He just got better looking and more tan every time somebody
doubted him. He proved to
me
me that the older you get, the more handsome you can get. It's possible. We're doing it.
As long as you have a lot of money. As long as you have a lot of money.
Yes. And we are going to give a happy early birthday to my man Chet. It is his 29th birthday tomorrow.
Yep, 29.
29 forever.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, 29.
29 forever.
29.
Not 30. Not 30. 29.
Not 30. Not 30. Definitely not 30.
Definitely
For sure. It's 30.
Hey guys, that is a wrap for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. We appreciate you guys tuning in for today's episode on mental toughness. Stay tuned. Next episode of Box Talk. Spence, hit us with the outro beat. Box Talk. That's a wrap.